Siege of Winterfell. 2 alliances, 1 hour, 1 winner. Capture, hold, and escort resources for points, and the Champions Award across Super, A, and B leagues. Starks deploy north, Greyjoy south. 11 objectives divide the field. At 12 minutes, Winterfell releases resources for a high-value escort. Hot Spring speeds healing. Armory boosts combat power. The outpost generates steady points. TMD sends DarkTrial, Spear Vanguard, and Will New Typee, Cavalry Thunder. MAI answers with Infantry Masters Yoda Huang and Arnalat. Command the map, take Winterfell. On this frozen battlefield, victory is not decided by one charge. It is built from control, movement, and the ability to keep an army fighting. The first test comes at the Hot Spring, where both alliances collide around a strategic healing position. What begins as a contest for ground quickly becomes a test of endurance. The available footage shows formations arriving from multiple directions and compressing into the same small circle. There is almost no clean front line. Units overlap, targets change rapidly, and every attempt to isolate an enemy risks exposing another flank. In this kind of fight, positioning matters as much as raw damage. The side that stays organized can trade longer without losing the point. Then the value of the position becomes visible. Green recovery effects pulse beneath the allied formations, signaling the healing bonus at work. That sustain does not make the army invulnerable, but it changes the cost of every exchange. Damage that would normally force a retreat can be absorbed, recovered, and answered. Holding the circle therefore protects more than territory, it protects tempo. As the engagement develops, the camera follows pressure beyond the original cluster. Small groups break away, re-enter, and pull enemies toward adjacent positions. This appears to be an effort to prevent a single enemy mass from dictating the fight. Fire attacks and concentrated bursts punish units that remain stacked for too long, while surviving groups use the healing area as a place to reset before committing again. The opening lesson is clear. The Hot Spring creates staying power only when an alliance can rotate damaged units and deny an uncontested approach. That sustain must become map control, and map control is about to be tested by an objective that cannot remain still. But control is only half the battle. The next objective must move. The first supply convoy begins near an occupied structure. Its marker is easy to follow, but the route ahead is not secure. Allied formations gather around the carrier, while enemy lines probe from the sides. The escort cannot simply follow behind. It must create space in front, watch both flanks, and keep hostile groups from reaching the objective at the same time. The escorts form a moving screen. One group stays close enough to answer a direct attack, while others range forward to meet threats before they touch the convoy. The footage suggests a layered defense, rather than one compact block. That spacing is important. If every allied unit stacks on the objective, a single area attack can pressure the entire formation and stop the movement at once. The first interception comes quickly. Red attack lines converge, and the escort turns toward the threat rather than allowing it to trail the carrier. This is the critical choice. Protect the convoy by controlling the enemy's path, not merely by standing beside the objective. The fight becomes a running engagement, with each successful stop buying another few seconds of movement. As the route passes between forest edges, vision and maneuvering room become more limited. Enemy groups can approach along the same narrow lanes the convoy must use. The escort responds by meeting them early and keeping the main objectives behind the contact line. Available footage suggests the defenders are trying to turn scattered skirmishes into a sequence of small delays instead of one decisive block. The battle then enters the snow corridor. Here the pursuit stretches into a long column, exposing which units are ahead, which are isolated, and which are still protecting the convoy. Enemy reinforcements appear along the route, forcing repeated turns and short counterattacks. The escort does not need to destroy every opponent. It needs to prevent any one group from holding contact long enough to stop the carrier. Gradually, the contact line begins to spread out. Allied groups remain between the objective and the closest threats, while forward units pull the fight away from the route. Every cleared interval gives the convoy room to advance. This first escort demonstrates the essential rhythm of the operation. Locate the threat, intercept before contact, then move again before the enemy can reorganize. The convoy keeps moving. Ahead, the road narrows into a dangerous approach. A new escort begins with the same objective but a different tactical problem. The carrier leaves the structure while Allied units move ahead across open ground. At first, the route offers room to maneuver. That freedom is temporary. The map and the visible travel lines point toward a crossing where both sides will be forced into the same limited space. Before the crossing, the escort uses the open lane to organize. Forward elements make contact while the convoy remains behind them. This separation appears deliberate. A carrier entering the contested bridge too early would have no room to evade, and the escort would be forced to fight while trapped around its own objective. Clearing the approach first is the safer sequence. The bridge now becomes the choke point. Its stone deck removes the wide flanking options available in the fields. Attack lines, formations, and the convoy route all compress toward one entrance. Whoever controls that entrance controls the pace of the escort. The defenders need a clean window to cross. The attackers need only enough pressure to keep the route contested. Contact erupts at the entrance. Both sides stack into the narrow space, and area attacks sweep across the crossing. This is the most dangerous moment for the escort. If the forward screen collapses, the enemy can reach the carrier before it has room to turn. Allied formations answer with concentrated attacks of their own, forcing the hostile mass to fight for every step. The crossing becomes less a road than a gate, and the gate is being held under fire. The engagement spills beyond the bridge, but the geometry has changed. Once formations leave the crossing, they can spread, rotate, and avoid presenting one compact target. The escort appears to use that space to separate the nearest pursuers from the objective. The battle is still active, yet the convoy now has options that did not exist inside the choke point. The clash changes the route. Enemy units are forced to chase, while Allied groups can choose where to make the next stand. The escort has passed the narrowest danger. Now it must stop the surviving attackers from rebuilding one blocking force ahead. The first clash ends. The enemy is already forming another line. The next escort starts under greater pressure. Enemy units are already active around the departure area, so the defenders cannot treat the opening as a safe formation phase. They must fight and organize at the same time. The convoy marker remains the center of the mission, but the immediate priority is to prevent nearby attackers from attaching themselves to the route. Several attack lines pull attention in different directions. This is where escort discipline matters. Chasing every hostile unit would scatter the defense and leave the convoy exposed. Instead, the footage appears to show Allied groups choosing the threats closest to the route, while allowing more distant enemies to move without immediate pursuit. The mission defines which fight is worth taking. The selected fights are still costly. Formations collide in the open, recovery effects appear, and concentrated damage forces quick changes of target. Neither side holds a perfect line. The escort survives by preventing the enemy from maintaining continuous contact. Break the lock, create distance, and the convoy can move. Fail to break it, and every reinforcement arrives at the same stalled battle. A brief separation gives the defenders room to regroup. The route lines extend ahead, and Allied units begin to reform around the moving objective. This moment is easy to overlook, but it is essential. Successful escorts are not one uninterrupted charge. They are a chain of short advances, controlled fights, and reorganizations that restore the shape of the defense before the next attack. The route returns to the snow, where the column stretches again. Enemy units attempt to reconnect from behind and from the side. The escort answers by turning selected groups back toward the pursuit, while the objective continues forward. This is not a clean disengagement. It is a fighting withdrawal in reverse, with the defenders giving ground only because the convoy is gaining it. By the close of this run, the attackers have caused damage, but have not created a lasting blockade. The defenders keep restoring space around the route. That is the real measure of an escort, not whether combat occurs, but whether combat changes the convoy's destination. Here, the movement survives, and the remaining battle becomes a race to stop the final delivery. The convoy survives. One final route now stands between movement and points. The final push begins near familiar ground, but the score pressure is now greater, and the route must be cleared quickly. Allied units move out around the objective as red lines reach toward the formation. The tactical pattern is established. Keep the convoy behind the contact line, identify the closest blocking threat, and strike before separate enemy groups can combine. The interceptors arrive in a staggered column. That timing gives the escort an opportunity. Instead of facing every hostile formation at once, Allied groups can engage the front of the column and delay those behind it. The footage suggests the defenders are trying to keep the battle narrow in time, even when the terrain is wide. One threat now, the next threat later. The column compresses as the fight reaches the snow. Fire and concentrated attacks strike the leading groups, while escorts continue to hold positions between the enemy and the objective. This is the decisive engagement. A complete victory in the skirmish is unnecessary. What matters is preserving forward motion. Each enemy held here is one less formation reaching the convoy at the same moment. The formation emerges with movement intact. Surviving attackers continue to pursue, but they no longer appear able to build a full wall across the route. The escort has repeated the same winning sequence across every chapter. Absorb the first contact, separate the threats, clear the lane, and move. The convoy operation converts battlefield discipline into the points that decide the match. With the final engagement concluded, the battlefield gives way to the result. The final screen confirms TMD's victory, 72,790 to 46,750. DarkTrial is shown as TMD's best warrior, while Arnalot represents MAI. The result completes the operation. control the ground, clear the routes, and keep the convoy moving under pressure. From the hot spring to the final delivery, control created movement, and movement created victory.